I got a subpoena. I didn't even know Justin Baldoni's name last year. I got a subpoena. How am I a part of this untraceable campaign? And of course, immediately I did an episode. I said, I'll subpoena myself. I didn't even mention this girl, Blake Lively, in my phone 2 times over the last 5 years. Okay. And so when we received the subpoena, my lawyer called her lawyer and said, what are you guys looking for? Like, obviously, Candace is happy to give you every bit of anything that you want because she has nothing to do with this lawsuit. And she didn't even begin covering this lawsuit until the end of January of 2025. So yeah, you guys filed this in 2024. What do you need? But remarkably, what they specifically wanted, which is very strange, was they extended the time and they wanted to see whether or not we had communications this year, 2025. Why? Why is the judge allowing them to go on this fishing expedition to pretend that anything that happened this year is relevant to the case that she filed last year? Apparently, she's trying to prove that it's still going on or something, and the judge is allowing this BS. Why would the judge allow it? This is an absolute nonsense. So we went to them and said, Candace has never been told what to publish. That was a part of their subpoena, wanting to figure out whether people were sending us talking points, whether or not people had paid us, whether or not people were encouraging, like asking us to say certain things throughout an episode. It's a nonsense. In fact, I should sue them for defamation for even suggesting that I would let somebody put words in my mouth. It's bad for my brand. You hurt me now. That feels like an untraceable campaign, Blake Lively. Okay, cut that out right now. And he said, obviously that's not true. Do you even know who Candace is? And we absolutely are not giving you our communications. We will file to completely quash this subpoena, and we will win because we will cite reporter's privilege. You know that Candace went out and said, if you have any tips, send it to her line at tips@candaceowens.com. You know that she then began receiving tips. So what are you trying to do? What game are you trying to play? Are you trying to like find a communication and then try to trot it out as PR proof? Like, oh yeah, no, Candace, see, they were all involved and colluding in February of 2025 after we filed our lawsuit. That's a nonsense. And they had a friendly conversation. You know, the lawyers had a friendly conversation and they asked us not to file the quash until they could see they filed some motion, whether or not they could win on forcing the defendants of this case, Brian Friedman and Justin Baldoni, to have to give their communication so that it won't actually involve me at all, meaning we can get them, they will be subpoenaed and they will have to turn over their communications rather than including you. Yeah, that would kind of be the big idea. It's between all of you guys. And again, it seems very strange to me that they're trying to pivot a strategy here and they're no longer concerned with what was leading up to this lawsuit, but they're trying to prove that this campaign is happening now. All I can say to you is, legitimately, from the bottom of my heart, I hate people who lie. I cannot stand the idea of people being so wealthy and so connected that they can ruin people's lives. This is a challenge for us to recognize that we are at war with our press. This has been the importance of the Blake Lively lawsuit. People, why are you covering this? Are you crazy? This is exactly what it is that we're talking about. Okay, a couple goes to the New York Times amongst their powerful elite friends and says, hey, I just kind of want the publishing from this guy, Justin Baldoni. And so we're just going to make up this narrative and do you mind writing this article, Megan Toohey? Yeah, one of the people who launched the Me Too movement. Do you mind just writing this article? Because that works typically. Companies get completely sunk and they have to sell really quickly if we just kind of smear them with the idea that they're rapists. And the New York Times said, yeah, sure, that's not a problem. And they released this article. And the only takeaway you could have as a reader was that this guy was the biggest creep ever. Justin Baldoni was the biggest creep, porn addicted, can't stop talking about sex, tried to cop a look of her boob while she was breast pumping. Cause like, I guess that's very attractive. A machine going crank, crank, crank. And they couldn't stop. He's just crazy. And poor Blake, she's a survivor. And then Brian Friedman hit us with the facts. And it was one of these moments where we went, why do we listen to the mainstream press ever? These are assassins. They're journalistic assassins, okay? And so in this remarkable, again, exposing to us also potentially the corruption of the courts, they started issuing all these subpoenas because Blake Lively's entire story, don't forget, is that there was some inside untraceable campaign and that it couldn't be possible that people organically disliked her, right? So no, but they must have been working with all of these people. And she starts throwing out these subpoenas.